Hello. Let me tell you a story from long ago. Our daughter, in the mid-1990s, spent a year in America on a Rotary Club exchange. She spent the year in a little town nearly 4,000 feet up the Rocky Mountains in Wyoming. For the first 6 months, parents aren't allowed to visit, so we had to wait until February before we could go, though the airline tickets had been booked months in advance. Full of anticipation at seeing our daughter and tasting life in a foreign land, imagine our disappointment when she phoned 3 days before we were due to set off and told us we couldn't go. "There's 6 foot of snow here," she said, "and the airport's closed. You can't come." Now, my wife is a determined lady and has got red hair. "I'm not going to be stopped from seeing my daughter," she said. "I'm going to pray." And she did. Within 48 hours, the temperature out there had risen 20 degrees. They had floods. We flew out on schedule. For our week there wasn't a cloud in the sky. We flew back home, and back came the snow. Coincidence? Or answered prayer? Well, I've witnessed similar things since. And I have footballing friends who, should they foresee the weather interrupting our sport, will turn to me and ask me to put a word in with the Almighty, on the dubious grounds that he's more likely to listen to me than he is to them. What strikes me is that people with little or no faith will put in such requests, as if we're all rather dimly aware that God sometimes operates through the weather and nature, as indeed we find him doing at times in the Bible. If you've been following these YouTubes, you'll have picked up that I'm less than happy with the media people who question the politicians and scientists on the daily government briefing. It is, I think, because they embody an attitude which is now so natural to our thinking we no longer notice it, which is the assumption that all problems in this world can be solved by human cleverness. Where are my notes? Bear with me. There I am. It follows from this assumption that if our leaders can't tell us exactly when or how we'll come out of lockdown, or why we might not have enough PPE for our medical staff on all occasions, they must be a bit dim, which could account for the rather condescending tone of their questioners, which I for one find rather distasteful. There are commentators who see the present pandemic as a direct visitation from God in judgment on the world. I don't know whether it is or whether it's just one of those things. But one thing I'm sure of is this: that prayer that works and affects the realm of nature, be it snowfall or viruses, is not the result of human cleverness, but of human holiness. My wife makes no attempt to be any kind of intellectual, but she has a determination to be holy. And maybe it's the holy people, rather than the brainy people, will pull us out of this crisis. Bye-bye for now. Try and enjoy the rain. Bye.